We're seeing an increase in the number of measles cases in Texas in what health officials there say is the largest outbreak of the virus in the Lone Star State in about 30 years. Nearly 100 cases confirmed, sending at least 16 patients to the hospital, most of them between the ages of 5 and 17. This is prompting questions from parents all over the country. Let's ask the pediatrician about this. Dr. Steve Turkovich, president of Oishei Children's Hospital, is back with us on a Tuesday night. Great to see you.
Nice to see you.
We've talked about measles several times because it seems like we're going from one state to another where we're experiencing these outbreaks. Luckily, nothing like this here, right? Is that the key message?
Fortunately, really you have to look at the vaccination rates. Measles is one of the most contagious viruses known to man. And so one infected person can infect 9 out of 10 people they come in contact with that are susceptible. So therefore, you need to have at least 95% of people in your community vaccinated for that herd immunity that we talked a lot about during COVID. In Texas, we see rates in the 70s and 80%. So they have pockets of people who just have a lot of susceptibility. Here in Western New York, fortunately, we're pretty high, but there are some zip codes that are in the 70s and 80%. So this could actually happen here in Western New York.
And if it were to, it will be in those particular zip codes most likely.
Yep.
I also want to ask you about this report last week regarding a loophole that seems to allow kids to see ads for cannabis products on social media. So there are very strict rules making it illegal to advertise marijuana on TV, radio, or across state lines. But social media ads are largely unregulated, or if there are any violations of laws, enforcement is pretty lax. Experts say teenagers are seeing a lot of these ads, and they draw a correlation between these national survey results from last year that found 7% of 8th graders, nearly 16% of 10th graders, and more than a quarter of high school seniors said they had used cannabis in the past 12 months. How concerned are you about the ads, and do you think that's impacting these numbers we see?
I think it's definitely impacting the numbers, and I'm very concerned. So what the marijuana companies are doing is they're taking a page out of the tobacco playbook, and they're making ads that are very attractive to teenagers. They know if you can get teenagers hooked young, they're going to be hooked for life. People don't recognize that marijuana is just as bad, and if even maybe worse than tobacco. It affects your cognition, your sleep, your learning, your brain development. It also increases your risk by 2 to 4 times of developing psychiatric disorders, anxiety, depression, and even schizophrenia. The more you use, the longer you use, the more permanent these negative effects are.
That's why, it's, with kids, that's why it's so dangerous.
Yeah, very dangerous.
Dr. Steve Turkovich, president of Oishei Children's Hospital. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Good to see you.